Hi, thanks for joining me and Claire for Selfseeds Through the Eyes of the Horse. Now, this will be the first of the series with Claire. Claire is a 4-year-old warm blood that has come to me to develop, and she's going to be an absolutely amazing hunter for someone. Just athletic, intelligent, brave, and just now working on the details of training. So this video is longer than my other videos. I had some requests to make longer educational videos. So what I'm going to do is just commentary on what's happening, and you can see it for yourself through my lens that's on my GoPro on my helmet. I am in the process of getting a video system that will also be able to track me laterally, but for now I'm having fun playing with the camera that's mounted on my helmet. So as we start to get to work, Claire and I, she's just taking in the environment. Again, this environment has so much stuff going on, training opportunities. The ladder you just saw on the left was just put there a couple days ago. They were trimming the tree, and the trucks move every day and the animals are moving around. So it's a great environment for a young horse to learn how to concentrate. At this point of my training, I've had the privilege to train and work with different professionals all over the world and different systems, and it's just been an amazing journey. I even just went to Portugal in 2018 and had a chance to work with a master trainer there, and I never stop trying to be better at what I do. And the horses obviously are a big teacher. You see the dog there on the right, a big feedback mechanism. And so at this point in my riding, I always have had a big passion for dressage, but I don't have a big passion for the modern version of dressage where a lot of the necks are getting bent and the throat latches are getting closed, and it's creating a lot of stress in the horse's connection in the bridle. They're tightening the nose bands pretty darn tight, and it ends up impacting the mental welfare of the horse. Okay, a little diversion, a little training opportunity. The truck is going, the dogs are barking, there's a new drag on the truck. So this is an amazing training opportunity. There, we got out of the way so the truck could take off and start dragging again. And I just, again, life experience for the horse. So at this point in my understanding of riding, I really am trying to work on the length of the horse staying undisturbed, but the mobility in the jaw, the poll, the withers, the shoulders, the croup, everything along the top line is connected, so they have ability to develop power inside of their body and a carrying capacity. My 20 years of ballroom dancing taught me an incredible amount about how important it is to be hooked up inside so you can have the power and the balance to manage yourself, be in balance, Selfseeds balance, use of Selfseeds weight distribution, use of Selfseeds flexibility, fitness, partnering, integration. Just everything relies on the inner structure of the body being hooked up. And so it isn't about disconnecting the horse, it's about connecting the horse in a thoughtful way. And she's still walking. I like to walk for a while because I'm looking for a rhythm in the entire horse's body. It becomes like a wave action when the horse gets integrated in the walk and all gaits. It's like a flow of energy inside the horse. It's not about them just moving their feet in the walk. It's how the energy moves through the entire body of the horse while it's walking, and then how it's received in the hand of the rider, through the seat, the back, the legs. So that means the rider also has to have a flow of energy and movement that matches the horse. Now I'm practicing walking in and out of the arena. through the narrow gates, a little bit of a challenge for the horse again. So she goes in, she walks through, we walk outside. They get used to coming and going in the arena. Over the years, I like to spend time outside the arena. And they just get, everything becomes fluid. Whoop, that's a little funny corner sometimes. I think I clicked my stirrup on the edge of the gate going through. So just little training opportunities again. And I love how she's resetting. You see the bounce in her neck allows that she's oscillating and swinging through her back, her shoulders, everything. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start trotting. And then as we start trotting, all of a sudden the horse has to manage itself and its expectations in a different way. So I'm trying to work with the amount of contact, the feel of the horse inside of itself, because what education creates for a trainer? Part of the education is riding lots and lots of horses. But part of the training is riding lots of trained horses and getting instruction so you understand the pairing and what needs to happen. A little blip there on the turn, she wanted to bulge to the left, so I needed to open my inside rein a little bit, use my outside rein as an indirect aid across her base of her neck and her shoulder, and my outside aids are a little bit of a wall, trying to drive her forward as she was bulging to the left. But when I look back at my opportunities in life, riding trained horses, which started in my 20s really, I had ridden lots and lots of long distance rides and lots of horses, but in my early 20s I started my formal training of dressage, and it took me all over the world with different instructors. And when I reflect now, horses that are trained are an incredible feedback mechanism. It's not just that you are riding a horse, it's how you're connecting with all the inside and the outside in the conversation. Whoop, little discussion there. She really wanted to try to bulge left there, and I had a little strong rein, and she let me know about it. But that part, as I look back, and I just think, it's like the dancing. You can dance your entire life, but for me, dancing with high-level professionals and getting training for most of my time dancing for the 20 years, I was like the horse. And so I see how there's a huge vocabulary that starts inside of the rider, and how the horse has to connect to the partner. But if the partner doesn't understand the language, the inner state of the horse, the fluidity, how it has to move in a balance and a connection, then even if the horse is trained, the rider is limiting the horse. So in the beginning, before Selfseeds was Selfseeds, I was asked to start a program called Ride Like a Dancer. And the idea was, we're going to try this now with the trot, a little crazy. I'm going to trot through the space, getting training opportunity. Oops, she's small and narrow, about 16 hands, not too wide, so it's a risk. Here we go, trotting through the open gap and then turning. So anyway, so Ride Like a Dancer was the beginning. My dance partner at the time, Eddie, and I developed the program. A dressage trainer had asked if we would create a teaching program where we could share our insight from ballroom dancing with riders so that they could be better partners for the horse. And I really thank her, because that later grew into what is now Selfseeds, another discussion. Now, as a little side thing, Clara carries her tension in the left side of her jaw. So when you ride, you feel there's a closing of her jaw. She's not as receptive on the left contact. And so sometimes her idea when you close your hand or you try to set a boundary is to be a little bit active with her head. Not often, but just sometimes. It's all part of the learning. Typical young horse. I'm not trying to break her off the contact. I want her to take the contact with a steady receiving action, and it's a different kind of training than to just tell her to get off the training or, you know, lighten up, but then she becomes disconnected. So the challenge in all of this is to develop that the horse is connected in itself and connected to me, no matter whether I'm walking, trotting, cantering, circling, going down the driveway, going out the gate, going over an obstacle, that the horse has the ability to accept my feel and know how to integrate that feel into itself while the horse stays in its own positive place for receiving information. So it's a really interesting layering of riding the horse from the inside out. And that takes years and years of training. A lot of horses are ridden, oh, we're going to make a sharp turn now through the gate. Little advancement there in the challenge. So little ways I play in the development of training, that she has to turn at different places and all these small increments. So today you're going to be viewing an entire training session on Claire, and I'm narrating her reaction to the training and what I'm doing, and then just some history of what I do and believe in training at this point. So I would say that a lot of training that happens is horses are ridden more like sports equipment. And again, it's a version. It's kind of like going out to lunch and a person's on their cell phone the entire time, checking all their chatting when they're there having lunch with you. Is there's an indirect, you're there, you're present at some level, but you're not really present. So one of the differences for the horses, they're always present because they don't have a cell phone or a television or all the other things that they need to do in the day. So they're always present. That's what I love so much about horses as a mirror, is that what are they doing, and am I present enough to recognize it? So in all of this development, the idea is to not only train the inside of the horse, is to connect it to the outside. And of course, this isn't something horses do naturally, because horses just don't wear humans for a living naturally. They eat grass. They wander in herds in fields. They interact with nature and one another. They do not wear humans. So all of our challenge for the horse is to not only experience the horse, but to educate ourselves so that we have a higher level capacity for knowing ourselves in relationship to the horse. So I'm sure, you know, training humans and horses has been going on since Xenophon. I believe that's 2nd century BC. But I'm not sure there's always been a consciousness with it. Oh, here we go. We're going to trot down the driveway for the first time. So let's see what happens. I've walked her down the driveway, but today's the first day trotting. So it's kind of fun. Again, she was doing awesome trotting around the outside and through the gates and steady. So then I go, okay, let's make it harder in little increments. Let's make it harder. So today now we're going to trot down the driveway and get a sense of how she does in a little bit of a new situation and a new pace. She's doing great. She's going to be such a fun horse for somebody. All my horses, most of them I'd say are for sale. It's what I do. And so I cherish and enjoy the time that I have with them. But the idea is they will go on to find awesome human beings for the future. She's doing awesome trotting down. I love that her ears are up and that she's in a positive way. She's not afraid. She's looking around, but in a really good way. She's right with me in my body, so I'm not having to use a lot of regulating contact, a little here and there correction. Because one of the things, I'm going to make a transition to walk and then go ahead and let her walk back. Very, very good. She's being great. I'll walk in a little different place here. so she can, again, constant learning. So one of the things that you see me doing when I'm using my reins, I'm trying to use the inside and the outside rein to center the horse's spine on my seat. I always think about riding the spine of the horse through the middle of my body and spine. So from a very, very beginning stage, I use direct and indirect aids together to influence the position of the base of the neck, the shoulder, the straightness of the neck, how the hind legs stepping through to connect. And again, I've been through stages of training where I have the neck down and connected. I've been through stages of having the neck in different lateral positions. Again, I really have such gratitude for all the different trainers that I've worked for, systems that they've had and graciously shared, the horses that I've gotten to ride. And at this point, you come to your own soup, basically. And so I'm experimenting or exploring the soup with the interconnection, but with a more open rein system. Now, of course, if I was riding a dressage test, I have to close the horse more. The accuracy is a little bit of a challenge when you have a rectangle and alphabet letters are along the way and you've got to do things immediately. But I'm still constantly exploring the integrity to developing the inside of the horse. So when horses are ridden more like sports equipment, we're going to head over this, great. I'll be eventually able to trot and canter over all these make great poles, or these palm trees that have been cut down, so they're fun. There's some out in another area too, so I'll start incorporating those. So I like her willingness and ease of stepping over. Things are happening probably. Anyway, so with the sports equipment idea, people are riding the horse, but it's more of an exterior riding. Where I'm interested in, how do I keep developing the interior riding on a mind, body, and spirit level while I connect it to the exterior? Because they both have to fit together, just like us. Even if we have a deep inner practice, we still have to find a way to be in the outer world, and that all of it has to fit together on the inner and outer practice. So thanks for joining Claire and I today. You get a little taste of my thoughts and what Claire's up to, and I'm sure there'll be more clips to come.